31st of morning star. We were 2 whole days inside the Soul Cairn. I've just woken from a long night's sleep after returning to the castle and would try to recount what I can from memory. Serana's trick with the soul gem worked, and I was able to enter without pain. When our eyes adjusted from the blinding light of the portal to the dark fog of the Soul Cairn, we were both taken aback.
This is all wrong.
What is this place, Serana?
The air, the ground. This is all wrong.
It was not the peaceful, lovely place I'd envisioned where our souls could rest in contentment for all of eternity.
This place. You'd be wrong. Let's just find my mother and get out of here quickly.
Instead, it was bleak and strange, with all sorts of eye-wrenching sights that defied the laws of nature as we knew them. Do you know anything about this place, Serana?
Just what my mother told me. I've also studied a little bit on my own, but there's not much. When something is trapped in a soul gem, and then the energy is used for powering an enchantment, the remnants are sent here.
From any kind of soul gem?
Well, I think it's specifically the black ones. I don't know if the Soul Cairn takes just any leftovers.
It just looks so dead. Does anything live here?
Look at this place. Do you think anything would want to live here? The only things that can survive here are the ideal masters, the undead, and the souls themselves. Well,
No.
if you want to call that living.
Oh, it's horrible. What a terrible place to be. Do you think we're going to meet these ideal masters?
I don't think anyone's ever met the ideal masters. I'm not even sure anyone knows what they look like. They could be underground, flying above us. They might be the ground. I have no idea.
Why are they collecting all these souls?
Lots of theories. Some say they feed on them like I feed on blood. Others think they use them as payment to an even higher power, almost like a currency. A very strange currency. Whatever they're doing with them, they've been harvesting for millennia. No telling how many souls are trapped here.
It's terrible. Why would a necromancer want to deal with them anyway?
Look around you. There are some extremely powerful undead here. Even a necromancer as seasoned as my mother would be willing to spend years trying to gain access to them.
Good point. I guess you mean they want to summon them?
Exactly. It's a lost art. Most necromancers just raise up whatever bodies are nearby. A simple trick, really. Child's play. But bringing something from the Soul Cairn gives you something much more powerful.
I see. Well, how do the necromancers communicate with the ideal masters then?
Well, that's usually the trick. It's possible to do it through a simple portal. But to finalize the deal, you have to travel here yourself. And most of them never come back.
Right, they get tricked, huh? Well, now we are here. Do you think Valerica really has the Elder Scroll?
No, but there's no way she would have left it in Tamriel. She wanted to get it as far away from my father as possible. I can't imagine a better place.
That's true. What do we do if she doesn't have it, though?
Then we find out where she hid it. If she's still alive. Well, as alive as she was before. Or is now. Or... you know what I mean.
Aye. Why would she not just leave it here hiding in the Soul Cairn and then she herself return to the castle?
Probably to avoid whatever my father would do to her if he could get his hands on her.
Right.
Or maybe her plan was to come back, but she was stuck here. We won't know until we find her.
Good point, so... I guess we should start looking, eh?
Let's just find my mother and get out of here,
I agreed. Alright, let's
keep moving.
This feels very strange. The ground was a sandy, ashy substance, with no living plants to speak of. It was striated in places with sizzling fissures, through which magical energy escaped into the air like smoke.
Let's try to handle this quickly.
Small circular wells dotted the surface of the landscape, also glowing with magical energy, but in bright bursts they shot straight into the sky. Something happened there, Serana. What is this? What is this energy? There was a trail of sorts worn into the ground, and it led to structures of varying shapes and sizes, all made of some black, glossy stone that I'd never seen before. And there were souls. Hello?
This place tears at me as though I'm still alive and being drawn and quartered. I can't stand it anymore.
Ghostly remnants of their human forms, glowing in a dim, ethereal light. I tried speaking with them, but most of them were hopeless and morose.
Or feel anything but loneliness.
Some spoke of intense loneliness. Several were able to tell the story of how they got there.
Did they listen? Of course not.
Hello?
Look what we have here. Someone with flesh on their bones.
Oh. A bit of an attitude for a dead soul. What's the matter with you?
Let's just say I sold something to a guy who turned out to work for a whole coven of necromancers.
Huh.
How in the name of Zenithar was I to know the ingredients were phony? Do I look like someone that would double-cross a necromancer?
Actually, you do. Well, that explains how you got here, then.
You got it. Horse, wagon, and all. Plopped here without so much as a word. I used to be one of the best traders in High Rock, you know. People would track me down just to see what I had for sale.
Really? Well, got anything left?
Very funny. And what exactly are you going to pay me with? Take a look around. Gold doesn't exactly win you any friends around here.
Well, is there anything you do want?
I'll tell you what. I appreciate what you're trying to do, so I'll play along. The only thing I see around here in abundance are soul husks. You know, those ugly fungus-looking things growing out of the ground. Bring me, say, 25 of them, and you can rummage through what was left on my cart.
Alright, that's fair enough. What wares do you have, by the way, huh?
Odds and ends I've gathered over the years. Well, used to gather, before all of this nonsense happened to me. Tell me what you're looking for, and maybe we can make a deal, if you have the husks.
Well, I don't have the husks yet.
No husks, no sale. Guess you have some scavenging to do.
Ah, attitude. Jeez. Was that you, huh? What's this paper? Dupes opus. Oh. It's part of a note? A story? With no sense of direction and no idea where to look for Valerica, we mostly just wandered and explored. Bone man. Get him, Serana. That will teach them, eh? I hope we don't have to fight too many things around here. Oh, look! A horse! What is that? What a strange horse. Come on, let's catch it. Hey, slow down. Hello, horse. I'd begun to worry that we might never find her in that vast bleak land. What is this up here, Serana? But then we happened upon a large building whose wide entrance was blocked with a humming barrier. And Mother? Serana shouted in surprise. Oh,
Serana?
Is that your mother?
Is it really you? I can't believe it.
Her mother was there,
We have to talk.
standing behind the barrier.
Serana, what are you doing here? Where's your father?
He doesn't know we're here. I don't have time to explain.
I must have failed. Harkon's found a way to decipher the prophecy, hasn't he?
No, you've got it all wrong. We're here to stop him. To make everything right.
Wait a minute. You've brought a stranger here? Have you lost your mind?
No, you don't...
You, come forward. I would speak with you.
So how has it come to pass that a vampire hunter is in the company of my daughter? It pains me to think you'd travel with Serana under the guise of her protector in an effort to hunt me down.
You know, you're being pretty presumptuous. I didn't come here to hunt you down. I'm not tricking Serana either. I'm trying to keep her safe and stop Harkon's plan.
Coming from one who murders vampires as a trade, I find it hard to believe your intentions are noble. Serana has sacrificed everything to prevent Harkon from completing the prophecy. I would have expected her to explain that to you.
She admitted to having the scroll, but she did not trust me at all. She could somehow tell that I was part of the Dawn Guard. I don't trust your intentions either. You kill people and drink their blood. But look, I'm here for the Elder Scroll. We want to stop Harkon. And we need that scroll to do so.
You think I'd have the audacity to place my own daughter in that tomb for the protection of her Elder Scroll alone? The scrolls are merely a means to an end. The key to the tyranny of the sun is Serana herself.
Eh? Alright. What does that mean?
When I fled Castle Volkihar, I fled with 2 Elder Scrolls. The scroll I presume you found with Serana speaks of Auriel and his arcane weapon, Auriel's bow. The second scroll declares that the blood of Coldharbour's daughter will blind the eye of the dragon.
Alright. What does that have to do with Serana?
Like myself, Serana was a human once. We were devout followers of Lord Molig Bal. Tradition dictates the females be offered to Molig Bal on his summoning day. Few survive the ordeal. Those that do emerge as a pure-blooded vampire. We call such confluences the Daughters of Coldharbour.
Alright. What do you mean? What is Coldharbour?
It's what some call the domain of Molig Bal. His place in oblivion.
Oh, I see. Wait, you mean Serana did this whole thing willingly? Or did you force her?
It was expected of her, just as it was expected of me. Being selected as an offering to Molig Bal is an honor. She wouldn't have dared turn her back on that.
Alright, but what you're really saying is that this ritual, it requires Serana's blood?
Now you're beginning to see why I wanted to protect Serana, and why I've kept the other Elder Scroll as far from her as possible.
So you mean Harkon would really kill his own daughter? He means to kill Serana and use her blood to block out the sun. Is that what you are really saying?
If Harkon obtained Ariel's bow, and Serana's blood was used to taint the weapon, the tyranny of the sun would be complete.
He is mad.
In his eyes, she'd be dying for the good of all vampires.
How could he kill his own daughter? Well, as long as I'm around, I would never allow that to happen to
And how
Serana.
exactly do you plan on stopping him?
I'll kill him. That seems to be the best way, eh? For Serana's sake, and for all of Tamriel. But I need your help to do so. I need the scroll that you have.
Have you been listening to me? Like Serana, I'm a pure-blooded vampire. My presence on Tamriel is as much of a danger as hers.
Well, why don't we ask Serana's opinion in all of this, eh?
You care nothing for Serana, or our plight.
You make a lot of choices
Whether
for
or
your
not
daughter.
you've become one of us in order to survive the Soul Cairn, you're still a vampire hunter at heart. You're here because we're abominations in your mind. Evil creatures that need to be destroyed.
You're very presumptuous, you know. How do you know what my intentions are? If I intended to kill vampires, I would have killed Serana. Look, she believes in me. Why won't you give me a chance to at least explain?
Serana, a stranger, aligns herself with those that would hunt you down and slay you like an animal. Yet I should entrust you to her.
This stranger has done more for me in the brief time I've known her than you've done in centuries.
How dare you? I gave up everything I cared about to protect you from that fanatic you call a father.
Yes, he's a fanatic. He's changed. But he's still my father. Why can't you understand how that makes me feel?
Oh, Serana, if you'd only open your eyes. The moment your father discovers your role in the prophecy, that he needs your blood, you'll be in terrible danger.
So to protect me, you decided to shut me away from everything I cared about. You never asked me if hiding me in that tomb was the best course of action. You just expected me to follow you blindly. Both of you were obsessed with your own paths. Your motivations might have been different, but in the end, I'm still just a pawn to you two. I want us to be a family again. But I don't know if we can ever have that. Maybe we don't deserve that kind of happiness. Maybe it isn't for us. But we have to stop him, before he goes too far. And to do that, we need the Elder Scroll.
I'm sorry, Serana. I didn't know. I didn't see. I've allowed my hatred of your father to estrange us for too long. Forgive me. If you want the Elder Scroll, it's yours. Your intentions are still somewhat unclear to me. But for Serana's sake, I'll assist you in any way that I can.
Thank you. Well, first, do you have the Elder Scroll with you now?
Yes. I've kept it safely secured here ever since I was imprisoned.
Oh, good.
Fortunately, you're in a position to breach the barrier that surrounds these ruins.
All right. What do we need to do to bring this barrier down?
You need to locate the tallest of the rocky spires that surround these ruins. At their bases, the barrier's energy is being drawn from unfortunate souls that have been exiled here. Destroy the keepers that are tending them, and it should bring the barrier down.
All right. We will do that, and we will return soon. Thank you, Valerica.
One more word of warning. There's a dragon that calls itself Durnevere roaming the cairn. Be wary of him. The Ideal Masters have charged him with overseeing the keepers, and will undoubtedly intervene if you're perceived as a threat.
After a lengthy conversation, she told us how to release the barrier that kept her prisoner there, and she said that she would give us the scroll if we freed her. To do so, we had to find and defeat 3 keepers. Before we look for these keepers, though, can you tell us how you became imprisoned?
When I entered the Soul Cairn, I had intended to strike a bargain with the Ideal Masters, the custodians of this place.
All right. And what was the bargain? It didn't appear to be in your favor.
I requested refuge in the Soul Cairn, and in exchange, I would provide the Ideal Masters the souls that they craved. If I had foreseen the value they placed on my own soul, I would never have come here.
So they tricked you like they trick everyone.
The Ideal Masters unleashed their keepers and sent them to destroy me. Fortunately, I was able to hold them at bay and retreat into these ruins.
And then you got trapped. They created this barrier, right?
Unfortunately, yes. Since the Keepers weren't able to claim my soul, they had their minions construct a barrier that I'd never be able to breach.
So you've been imprisoned here? In this building? For all of this time?
Time has very little meaning to me. Consequently, it has little meaning to the Ideal Masters as well. I suppose you could call this the ultimate waiting game, each watching the other to see which will give in.
Well, listen, Valerica. Can you tell me more about the Ideal Masters? Who are they?
I know very little about them. They're mystic entities that lord over the Soul Cairn, controlling every aspect from its fabric to its appearance.
Oh, what do they look like? Just in case we run into them.
Well, some necromancers believe they are the crystalline structures dotting the Soul Cairn. I believe there's more to it than that.
Oh? How so?
I think they transcend what we perceive as a physical form. Perhaps they were once corporeal beings, but they've obviously reached a point where they no longer require a tangible presence.
And these crystals, then? What are they?
Conduits, through which the Ideal Masters speak to their underlings and feed on their victims.
Yeah. Why do they need to feed on things, though? Why would they need sustenance if they have no physical form?
The Ideal Masters' weakness is their insatiable hunger for pure souls. It's the reason for the Soul Cairn's existence, and the only leverage a necromancer has when bargaining with them.
So if they get souls, then what do the Masters provide in return? Power, I assume, eh?
The ability to summon powerful undead guardians, as one would conjure an Atronak or Daedra. However, the majority of necromancers that are foolish enough to enter into a bargain with the Ideal Masters wind up here, as harvested souls.
Aye, that's what Serana said as well. Listen, Valerica, why haven't you pursued the prophecy? Do you not believe that vampires should rule the world?
Harkon's vision is a world plunged in eternal darkness, where the vampire can flourish, and never again fear the tyranny of the sun. What he fails to realize is how much attention would be called to our kind if the prophecy came to fruition.
What sort of attention? I guess you mean everyone would be after you, huh? I think you are right.
If eternal night fell, there are many who wouldn't stand for it. They would raise armies in attempts to return things to normal.
Aye.
The order of the day would be our destruction, until every last vampire was hunted down and eliminated.
Aye, I think you are right. So you prefer to live in the shadows?
I do. It's how the vampire has survived for millennia, and the only way we can continue to survive in the future.
Right. I have one more question, Valerica, before we go and hunt the keepers. If I need to leave the Soul Cairn for any reason before we are done, could I safely return?
As you've been traveling in the Soul Cairn, your body has become attuned to it. Let's just say a tiny part of you rubbed off on it, and in its place, A bit of the Soul Cairn filled the
That
void.
sounds bad.
You should find no difficulty using the portal any longer.
Alright, well, I guess that's the silver lining, eh? If I have to be rubbing off on a Soul Cairn. Alright.
Be careful, and keep my daughter safe.
Don't
Let's
worry,
kill
I
those
will.
keeper things and get back to the prison.
Alright, alright. Come on, Serana.
I'm glad you're here. I don't think I could be doing this alone.
I'm glad I'm here with you. I'm not quite sure what your mother is talking
I can't
about.
believe we found my mother alive. Well, you know what I mean.
Aye?
The sooner we get out of this place, the better.
So, how are you feeling though after all of that?
Relieved, I think. All those things had been building for a while. You have no idea how long I wanted to say that to her.
Well, why did you agree to her plan anyway?
Look, I loved my father, but when he found that prophecy, that became his life. Everything else, even me and my mother, we just became clutter. I was close with my mother, but she just kept feeding me her opinions of him, and eventually I started believing them.
Well, it sounds like maybe you were already starting to not like him very much. He wasn't treating you like a father should.
Like I said, we were never very close. Not a lot of father-daughter bonding, if you know what I mean. But once we threw our lot in with Molig Ball, people just don't think about their families anymore. Power takes precedence, he always said.
Right, and then you got stuck in the middle of both of your parents. Ugh.
I was. Honestly, it took me up until now to figure out that my mother was really just as bad as he was. He was obsessed with power. She was obsessed with seeing him fail. It was just so toxic. Maybe I could have seen this coming. We could all be better off now.
Well, you know, I don't think this really had anything to do with you. They both had problems. It's not your fault, Serana.
That's easy to say, but I definitely didn't help things. Anyway, we should keep moving.
Alright, yeah, agreed.
And get back to the prison.
What is this, huh? This one looks a little... Whoa! What the... Wow, that was some kind of portal, huh? Valerica had given us very little information to go on, so we wandered through the wasteland again. Some sort of magic power. What is that? What is going on? What are these souls doing? What is that? Oh, Peter. One of the keepers. Come on, Serana. Get him. Die. Nasty thing. Feeding off those souls. Ha. One down, Serana. Good job. Kinda hurt a bit. Aye. Now we have to find the others. After finding and defeating the first keeper, it became clearer what we needed to look for, and so our task became much easier. Alright, here. Here are more of the souls. Must be a keeper. There he is. Come on, you skeletons. Freeze you. Ouch. He hits really hard. Or if the poison will work or not. We definitely need some healing.
I'm gonna have to kill you.
Stop running away. Kill you, rat man. Get him, Serana. Alright, one more keeper to go.
Where'd you come from?
What? Oh. Another rat man. And oh, there's the fight keeper. This is it, Serana. One more. Got them, Serana. Come on. That's all three.
The barrier should be gone now. Let's head back.
Hi. Is your magic ready? We defeated the remaining keepers and returned to Valerica. Well, the barrier is gone. Serana? Alright, let's go talk to your mother. Alright, Valerica, we are back. The barrier is gone.
You managed to destroy all three keepers? Very impressive.
Thank you. Can you give us the scroll now?
Yes. Please follow me. Keep watch for Durnevere. With the prison's barrier down, he's almost certain to investigate.
Great.
Get out of this place, the better.
I agree, Serana, but let's do this first. Keep an eye out for this dragon, okay?